Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video I'm bringing you live gameplay. This is just a fun match I played on the side with my friend Kyle. I'm on the left playing blue Crocodile and he's on the right playing Katakuri. I go first and just pass my turn. And on his turn he plays down the Charlotte Pudding to search the top 4 of his deck for a Big Mom Pirates type card and put it into his hand. He does grab the 10-drop Charlotte Linlin and pass his turn. I start off this turn by swinging 5 with my leader and he takes it and no trigger. And then for 3 I play down Sentomaru. Sentomaru is really important in my Crocodile deck. Dawn times 1 I can rest 2 Dawn and search my deck for a Pacifista and put it into play, so it's a really good card for establishing board. Kyle starts his turn by attaching a Dawn to his leader and swinging 7k. Katakuri's ability, you get to look at you or your opponent's top life card and either keep it on the top or put it on the bottom. So he looks at his life and keeps it on the top. And he also gains plus 1000 power when he does his ability. So I'm definitely going to take that damage since I'm at 5 life. And he does play down the Paraspero to end his turn. I start off this turn by swinging 6k to lead and he counters out. And then I play the 3000 Worlds card to put the Charlotte Paraspero to the bottom of his deck. So I just don't want him to start piling on a lot of attacks since I'm already being pressured by the Katakuri swing, so I decided to make that play instead of getting a Pacifista onto the board. I also feel pretty safe leaving the Sentomaru up there because yellow does not have very many good options for removal. Looks like we're going to see a big swing here from his Charlotte Pudding. I believe that is a 6k swing. So I'm deciding whether or not I want to take this one, and I do end up taking it. Which was probably a mistake because now he's swinging 8k with his leader and looking at my top life card. And he does put my top life to the bottom of my life. So now I don't want to go down to 2 life, so I do counter out here with a 2k and 2 1k, so it would have been way more efficient for me to just counter the pudding swing, but I didn't really think that went through. I attach a Dawn here to my Sentomaru and I do search my deck for a Pacifista and put it into play. So I'm not really threatened by his board, so it's a good time to start establishing one of my own. And I swing another 6k with my leader. So ideally I'd want to be swinging 5s and 7s, but I think I'm just maximizing my Dawn. And I force a 2k out of his hand. And then I play the blocker Doflamingo. Sorry for the glare there, that is a blocker Dofi. And Dofi allows me to look at the top 5 of my deck and rearrange them in any order, or I can choose to put them to the bottom. So pretty good turn for me setting up a board, but on Kyle's turn he does drop the 7-drop Charlotte Linlin, and on play she lets the opponent decide whether they want to give their opponent a life or trash one of their own. So I do decide to give Kyle a life here, and he swings 7k with lead, checks that life, and I do take this damage. So Charlotte Linlin, the 7-drop, is a really good momentum swing. So now Kyle is back up to 5 life and I'm down to only 2, so it's looking not too good for me here. So we'll see what I do on this turn. I start off by swinging 5k to lead, and Kyle does take it. And then I swing 6k with my Pacifista, and Kyle takes that as well and triggers the Charlotte Brûlée. Charlotte Brûlée's trigger, you get to put her into play, and she is a blocker. And then I play the 9-drop Dracula Mihawk to bottom deck his 7-drop Charlotte Linlin. So that was a really important turn for me to kind of swing the momentum back in my favor. He is only up by 1 life now, and my board is looking much better than his. So fist bump for Ben there. I think he was on his way out the door. And he does play the 10-drop Big Mom, which is an even better momentum swing than the 7-drop, because she forces your opponent to trash a life while you gain a life, so there is no choice there, and it is a 2-life swing. And he just swings 5 to lead, and then I counter with a Doflamingo, and he passes turn. So yeah, 10-drop Big Mom is, or 10-drop Charlotte Linlin is just such an amazing card. But now he is tapped out, and it is a turn that you have to spend to cast her, but she's definitely worth it. I attach a Dawn to my Sentomaru, and I plan to use his ability here, putting another Pacifista onto the board. So now I have to make up some ground here. I'm definitely going to throw out a lot of impactful swings here. Earlier in the game I was just swinging for 6s, and now I want to be a little bit more efficient with my swings, so I do start out with 5k with Sentomaru, and he counters that. And I attach a Dawn to my Pacifista and swing for 7. And he decides to block. So he's trying to keep as much life as possible after the 10-drop play. I swing another 7 with leader, and Kyle does take that. And then I swing 9k with Mihawk. He takes that as well. And I pass, leaving 4 Dawn up, so signaling that I have some counter events here, which I'm probably going to need. I am only down to 1 life, and I have only 1 blocker in board, so Kyle starts his turn. He thinks the Sentomaru is a threat here, so he's going after that. He swings 5k into the Sentomaru. And Sentomaru's pretty important, but at this point I have a pretty good board established. I do choose to protect the Sentomaru, over countering with the Level Up Beam and not getting a draw off of it. And we actually see a 7-drop Charlotte Linlin, so the second one of the game for him. And I do decide to give him another life, so he's doing yellow things, getting a lot of life gain, but he's only hit 1 trigger so far, I believe. And he's swinging 12k into my Sentomaru, and I do just decide to let him go there. I figure the blocker is going to be much more valuable to me than the Sentomaru. So Kyle does pass turn, and he leaves up 2 Dawn. Oh, sorry, that was a 13k swing with Charlotte Linlin into my Sentomaru. So now, once again, I'm going to have some meaningful swings into his leader. I start off 7k with my Pacifista. And he takes it. And he does get a trigger here, triggering the Charlotte Parasparrow. You trash a card from your hand to put him into play. I swing another 7 with the Pacifista. Now would be a good time to go for leader ability since he did trigger that Charlotte Parasparrow. Crocodile's ability, Don -4. I get to bounce a 5 cost or less to the owner's hand, so definitely going to want to get rid of that Parasparrow this turn. He does counter the Pacifista swing with a 2k and a 1k. I swing another 7 with leader and he takes that one. I attach a Dawn to my Dracula Mihawk and swing at him for 10k. And he does counter that with an Ikaku Sovereignty and a 2k counter. And for 3 Dawn, I play down the Doflamingo blocker, rearranging my top 5 again. And yep, I do use Crocodile's ability, bouncing the Parasparrow back to his hand, so I want to take away a swing from him there. So with 2 blockers up, 1 life left, he has 3 viable swings. I'm feeling pretty safe that I can survive this turn and then possibly go for lethal, depending on what he does here. Kyle playing another 10-drop Charlotte Linlin here to give himself 2 life and bringing me down to 0. And he goes 8k to lead with the Charlotte Linlin. And I do counter that with a Love Beam, and I get to draw a card this time since I have 3 or less cards in hand. And then he swings 12k with his Charlotte Linlin, and I block with my Doflamingo. And he just swings 5k with lead, and I counter out with a 2k counter Mihawk. So since I went Dawn -4 the last turn, I only have 8 Dawn to work with on this turn. I start off by swinging 7k with my Pacifista and he takes it. I swing another 7 and he triggers another Parasparrow and reveals that he doesn't have enough counter to defend against my Crocodile and my Mihawk, so Kyle does concede. So really good comeback for me there. I think that the key moment in that match was when I was able to drop the Dracula Mihawk and bottom deck one of his 7-drop Charlotte Linlins. It's just such a good play to kind of get momentum back. So that was a really close match and it was a good comeback from Crocodile, just showcasing what Crocodile can do. Bottom decking cards to get momentum back to your favor and then flooding the board with Pacifistas thanks to Sentomaru. And even using Crocodile's ability to bounce a character back to his hand. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that one. Give this video a like if you did. And consider subscribing for more One Piece card game content, and I'll see you all in the next video.